I don't know what this will be worth, but I tested it out. I got my headphones on so I can listen to the original recording. I've got the air conditioner running full and the fan over there. But I've got noise canceling on, and this thing seems to be recording A-okay. I put my headphones on because they're noise canceling those headphones. Really quiet in here now. Really quiet. Makes me want to be quieter, you know? And I noticed that when I was talking earlier in the test video, I was loud. I was loud. So hopefully this will be a little bit better. I'm going through some, I don't know what you call it right now. I don't think it's a phase. I don't, but sorry, I was checking something out about my mic here. I don't know what you call it. Like last night, for instance, I felt really good. Watched a movie that I'd been looking forward to for so long, even though I knew it would be bad for me. It would promote unhealthy ideologies. And I was right. It did. It did it really winsomely, alluringly. And yet, even though by the end of the movie they resorted to the same old tropes and ways of promoting health and goodness, just follow your heart because you are good and stick to your path, you'll be okay. And, you know, these kind of belief systems that suggest we're all okay all by ourselves, we don't need nobody, the American individualism is fine, and we're just good wholly. WHOLLY, because it surely isn't HOLY. And that made me really sad. It really did. But somehow it ended up being different for me in my intake this time. I had to write some things down. Got my trusty dusty thing here. See if I can look back what I wrote here. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Oh yeah. So you're along for the journey with me. That means I get to fumble around. You get to watch. Let's see if I can get what I was going to say here. Because deciphering my handwriting, in case you didn't know, is a full-time job, even for me, and I wrote it. I don't know where to start here, so give me some grace if you don't mind. I have never felt so freely and rightly, so entirely enjoyed and loved before. Not from everyone, ever. I guess it seems people that I know do somehow are never enough. Because, you know, people do love me. I'm a loved person. And I don't want to sit here and say I'm selfish for their love not being enough, but just keep listening with me because I think you'll understand a little better if you do. I don't know how this can be, I say, but I don't think it's simply because I am egotistical and selfish alone. I think it's because no matter how meaningful and good all the people are in my life that enjoy me, they aren't enough to fulfill me by design. Let that sink in, because that's like a big chunk of whoa for me. Like, you know, we want everyone to be enough. I think we want all the people around us to fulfill us. I mean, I know I'm not alone. And so when it occurred to me that perhaps they're not fulfilling me because it's not designed to be that way, like the created order of the world doesn't fall into that spectrum. Like, maybe it just makes sense because it's not supposed to be that way. I just felt like I've been What? But I don't think it's illogical or unsensible or insensible or senseless or however you want to say it. I don't think it. I think there's some merit to the thought. Um, I think God, I go on to write, has purposely made people good, but not enough. And what I mean is, like, He created us good, but we are fallen. We've been subject to the fall. So, in Ecclesiastes 3:11, God's word says, He has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from beginning to end. And for those of you who care, that's the ESV translation. I feel like I've been trying to make people the part. Oh, yeah. I feel like I've been trying to make people the part that fills my eternity. When I haven't realized that all along, God is here for me. God is here wanting me, desiring to be in the place of those people, those idols. A place that was never really by my admission and seeking for them, for Him all along. But now, I can fill my eternity with Him. And I pray, dear God, I pray to you and for you to be in me such a way. And I don't know if any of this resonates or makes sense with any of you, but it's big news to me because, for starters, I'm kind of floored and shocked that I watched a movie that I knew would not really help me, that could quote unquote be bad for me in my thought process and emotional life. I watched this movie because I thought it would bring me comfort. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, it's not important. Don't ask. It's just a movie, it's out there. And even though I did that, and I had that thought in my head, this isn't going to be good, Douglas. You should be doing this, Douglas. This isn't right for you, Douglas. Why are you doing this, Douglas? I had those droning in my head. I watched this movie, and by the end of it all, when the whole climactic thing happened, and resolution occurred, and everything was made better, and they all lived happily ever after, and it was based on the crux of a lie and fallacy. Instead of just being sad or buying into it, I was actually enlightened because I came to a place where I realized that the people in the movie were loving each other in a way that was pretty all around, pretty whole, and all of them were a family unit. So, like, it was so collectively together, it felt real and visceral, and I wanted that. I want that. I don't really have that in a family like that. So it was meaningful to me. But there was this voice inside my head as that was happening. And it said, I wrote it down, but I can't remember where I wrote it. But it said something to the effect of, I wish I had that. I don't know why I can't ever have that. Why have I never had that? Why do I have to be so alone to never get that? And it broke me. I bawled. I sat there and I cried because I realized that something I wanted that I'm pretty sure is just flat out good. Something that we kind of all need to some degree or another. That is not an unfair ask of me, for the Lord, my God, or the people around me to help with. Is something I didn't get. I have a deficit. That hurts because when I finally realized that, it's like, oh no, this is what it is. It felt like God was showing me this tender part of my life that I never knew was there. This little teeny person who just wanted love and care and to be known and held and seen. And he never got it from all the most important people in his life. And now that I know that that happened, I can lament the loss. I can weep about the pain of the truth of it. And I think that's a really good first step. You can't fix a problem you don't know you have. You aren't going to find what you don't know you should be looking for. You ain't going to get there if you never start walking. It's just, if I have a problem that I don't know is there, I surely won't heal it. I won't solve it. And I found, because of this movie that wasn't good for me, and where God has put himself in me, I found this part of myself that's really hurting. And it's only when you see yourself and you know who you are, it's only when you come to this place of finding out your pain that you can let it be touched healthily in a healing way. Until you want to look at it and hold it yourself because you accept it and you are going to give it grace, you're not going to let anyone else ever do it either. And as communal beings, we need that. We're about that. Like, one way or another, I don't care what you got going on, or if you've got a part of your brain missing or some kind of deficit. I don't know. We're not created to be alone. You don't come out of someone that you were together with for 9 months to be alone. You don't. That's not how it works. Not even biologically, scientifically. So anyway, that was really meaningful to me. And today, church was really good too. I had this thought when I wrote this idea down. Bear with me here, because I'm imperfect and I don't have all the answers, so please feel free to ask me questions to which I don't have answers for. It's part of the fun and the way of being in life. But I wrote down this question: could the Lord my God, really want, first and foremost, for me to be with him in a place of existence and just witness before and moreover than ever doing anything for him? Let that sink in. Let me try and say to you, like, I understand more than I ever have before the Lord, my God, wants me to be with him. And it's in being with him that I learn about him and grow with him. But, as the book of James says, faith without works is dead. And it's so easy to believe that I need to have subsequent evidential fruit to attest to the validity of the sanctification and the wholesomeness of the salvation given to me by the Lord my God. And that I have to do something to show that, And I think it's easy to get caught up in this place of being where I am that suggests that I need to prove myself. Hang on. Yeah, I don't like that. But what if it's not that? God gives us the ability to change our mind because we can be wrong, and he is gracious and kind, and life is a learning experience. And what if, instead of me needing to focus on how exactly I'm supposed to do life for him, what if the first thing I need to focus on for all of us is how am I going to be with him today? How am I going to sit down at his feet? It's like Martha and Mary, I always get them confused. I haven't read the story in too long, I'm sorry, but I think it was Mary who sat down at his feet and Martha was busy bodying around. And when Martha finally complained, she complained. She She went to Jesus and said, "Well, Mary's not doing nothing. Make her do something. This is important. You're good." Like, eh. She really, obviously, that's not how the text says it, but I think you get my point. And Jesus said to Martha something to the effect of, "Martha, Martha, Mary has chosen what is good, right, and it will not be taken from her." And he has said some other things to help encourage Martha, I do believe. I don't remember exactly what those things were, but I remember the poignancy of what he said to Mary. She's chosen the right thing, the good thing, and it will not be taken from her. And I kid you not, all she was doing was sitting there, listening to him. All she was doing was being with him. That's it. That's it. And that was necessarily needed. That was essential. And so I think there's something to say about the order of things when it comes to doing versus being, or being versus doing. Like, and my thing is, like, should I care so much about the doing if I have to be about the being to even get to the doing? Why should I be so worried about proving myself or having evidential fruit to prove the sanctification of myself and the attestation to my salvation to the Lord my God? Why should I be able to have to prove that if it doesn't even matter if I'm not with him first? And I think this is a good question, because if we get the order wrong, the equation doesn't get answered the same. And if you take one part out because it's not necessarily like part of the order, it streamlines it or makes it simpler. I believe, at least I think, that if I just be with Jesus, I seek him out, he's going to refine me through the fire like fuller's soap and like gold and silver. I believe I don't know how there's any way I can be with Jesus and not end up like him. It's not magic. It's not divination. It's not sorcery. But the reality is, you become what you behold. You're like who you're with. And I just need to be with Jesus. And so I thought that was a really important question. Would Jesus care more about me being with him than he would care about me doing with him? And I think the answer is yes. Because you can't be doing anything for him if you're not going to be with him. At least I think. Anyway, it's well 19 minutes. I'll stop there. I've got to figure some stuff out, but thanks for tagging along with me. Bye.